Greetings once more, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Play Motorsport Manager. Surging Absurdity, second challenge of the pro level, and we're looking to, in a sense, wrap it up today. It's the 11th race out of 12, but we can clinch. In order to clinch, we've got to beat Spartan by at least 5 points, because we'll need a 40-point lead to be totally secure before going into the finale at Doha. We're not building anything, we're not improving any parts, we're just trying to wrap this up. And 12 hours, the usual. I keep saying you have time to answer a few questions. It's not a few. It's never more than one. Any thoughts about giving team orders? I want my drivers to race. That is indeed the choice that I made. And Will Baggs walked away with the top prize in after incident packed race in Vancouver. Walter Hoffman looked delighted. So, all of that looking excellent. Definitely was cool to see him, Baggs getting that victory. Yes, we could go back to making those improvements, but there's nothing we need to improve. So, we're not going to do that. We're just going to proceed forward. Should be a short and sweet, other than the fact that it's over 3 weeks away, journey to Yokohama. And it's actually bad for us that the schedule spread out like this, because the other teams may be continuing to improve parts. And we got a few things in here. 42 laps, 3 miles. So longer, a little bit longer than usual. Be difficult for practice. Could be some rain. Now, she says rain. This says no, actually it's not going to rain. So I would say low chance of rain. Good spoilers. Atsuno has been the best at that almost all season, except for right after we build our new ones. Then they built new ones. They got past us. Super soft and soft, the typical choices, and it seems like almost every track is abrasive. The mechanics are happy about the factory. Well, of course they're happy about the factory. I'm not making them do anything, Trevor, but yes, it is nice that we have one of the best factories in the competition. And now, after Beijing, only one race left for the lower division. And Skanstrom and Nordhagen seem to be the best there. Not that we really care. See what they have to say about Yokohama. And Eddie Dubois, who they tap every once in a while, says, you know what, we're the favorites. And Laurie says, with down 14 points with 2 races to go, coming for Holgerson, it's only a matter of time. Well, if you don't make your move this race, you're going to run out of time. And Gary Edwards, very disappointed with how Vittorio Corsa is doing. I think they're near the bottom of the... Yeah, they're one of 2 teams who don't have a point all year. So, it's good that that wasn't what you were expecting. Okay, so we've got more sponsors to sign. 2nd or above and 6th or above. And this is our low-level sponsor, so we're not going to use them. We just want the upfront payment. Gustavo Cruises will give us that 800K. We don't need it. It really doesn't matter what we pick here at this point. But to heck with it. I'm taking the upfront payments. There we go, almost $6 million in the bank account. Showing once again that I could have gone with the gearbox improvements and been in an even better position. But with Laurie having the one crash and then them having bad qualifying the next race, Spartan has given us plenty of opportunities without that. We're going to continue to go with the 6th or above, and now that's going to earn us basically just a break-even point, but with almost $6 million in the bank, we don't really care. And still disappointed here. They're still picking us 1st and 2nd, though. And look at the heat. 29, 23, and then 31. Boy, I wish we could use medium tires. There's no question about it. It's going to be softs. And they will not be firm enough, but it'll be softs definitely in Yokohama. So from Vancouver to literally the opposite side of the globe, the crisscrossing Yokohama. And with 3 crucial parts, we're going to be limited to 270 on our boost. Whoops, and yep, we hit the apply to other car button on the wrong side, so we get to do this all over again. Both drivers correctly picking the soft tires. So we'll just do a few tweaks here. I think that looks about right. Let's take a look at our weather. No rain expected, 28 to 29 degrees. So I think we want to do the 4-lap race trim. Come in to make some basic adjustments, go back out. That seems to be the right deal here. And we're probably going to have all we can do, as bag switches from qualifying trim, probably going to have all we can do to keep I lost my train of thought there for a second. To get the race trim in with the longer track. You can see a couple of loops there, a couple of alternate possibilities that are blocked off. And of course the hairpin turn there that is actually slightly more than a 180. It's like a 210 or something degree switch around, then we go over and back through the finish line. And it does seem to be a minute and a half or over length track, so definitely going to want to just settle in, lock down that race trim and be content with it. Mia liking the gear ratios. You can see the tire temp spiking, and guess what? It's going to be about 2 degrees warmer on race day. So that's going to be pretty darn miserable. As far as form goes, Holgersen is doing decent. This went from green 5.0 to yellow 5.0, so just under. That's declining. Bag's over 7, so he's looking like he might be having himself another strong weekend. Mia seemed to use up her good racing in the early part of the year, but, you know, we needed it more than anyway. Bags wants higher speed corners. And our time's definitely not among the best, but we've got other drivers out there, a minority, but a decent amount on the super softs. So I think they're saying opposite things there. Unless I misremembered what Bags said, but both drivers wanting the ballast changed. And there's our level ones. In about 4.5 minutes. So there's a chance that we could get... We got to turn down the tires here. But there's a chance that we might be able to get level 1 qualifying. I don't think it's going to happen. Holgerson up to 4th. And Bags liking the handling. So far, nobody's run a faster lap on soft tires than Holgerson. Well, I say that, and Gabler does. Okay, now Holgerson does want softer handling. Bags is fine with his, but Holgerson wants more oversteer. And Bags continues to improve his driving while Holgerson's continues to degrade. And we'll go and switch up to neutral for this final lap. Now you see the times, though, faster than I expected them to be, by the way, by about 15 to 20 seconds. So this is actually not a particularly long track. And again, you can see, I'm seeing them blend in with each other, like that. I mean, that doesn't happen in qualifying, and definitely not in the race. Whichever. So we want more oversteer, and then higher speed. Might want to push it a little bit more, but we'll leave it at that for now. And yeah, I don't mind having the acceleration over a little bit, because then we'll see if that's better or worse. So, yeah. That should be reasonably close to what we want. And here comes Bags. He looks slightly better. Coming in at 81%, solid, or even a little better than normal first set. And let's go with higher speed for him as well. Let's assume you're going to agree and want a little bit more oversteer. Let's try that. So both drivers are taking 15 seconds to make those adjustments. There we are, level 2. And, I think we're going to be plenty of race trim, but we're not going to have enough to get qualifying. That's what it looks like to me. We get a little bit closer, and it's time to bring at least one of them in. I'll revisit that. See if maybe we've got a shot at it. But softs and the race trim maxing those out. That's the whole ball game here. Everything else is beneficial. Oh, I screwed up the ballast. Which means I screwed it up for bags, too. Outstanding. Yep. So, I want more weight in the front, not in the back. Lesson learned. Oh. The handling feels worse. Really? Well, you're the one who told me you wanted more oversteer, Mia. Figure out what you want and I'll give it to you. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, she's going to come in this time. I'm not sure if I'm going to be ready for... Will might need to go around again. Okay, let's take a look at this. I think I've got to leave him out. I don't think I'm going to quite get there. So for her, we're going to switch up to qualifying. 1 lap should be plenty. We'll go a bit on those super softs. And yeah, we made your setup a lot worse. So it went from okay to very poor. So we're going to want near the end of this. Handling went from okay to poor. So we're going to want that out about here. And this was no change. Maybe we want to move it down a little bit. Let's try that. 28 seconds. That's a lot of changes. But again, I'm quite confident I don't have time to hit the qualifying bonus anyway. Which, yeah, means we are where we are. See about bags, and yep, it was right to let him go out again. Or go around one more time. Now he'll come in. Yep, noted. And now Bags has hit our level 3s, making it a successful session. About the only other thing we could do is get enough out of... is to get him in for long enough to make some changes and at least get him out on the track so he can give us a reading. Poor, poor, and poor. 81% to 61%. Yuck. Okay. You know what? I don't even care what your trim is. You can stay on the same tires. Let's not waste any time with that. Okay to poor. So again, we want to be down here. Good to poor on the handling. Again, right there about the same spot. Good and poor. So you want your close to the end on speed. That's got to be close. Only a 15-second change. So yeah, he should be able to get back out on the track for us. And even if we'd have changed him to super softs in qualifying, you know, we weren't going to make it. Would have needed another lap from each driver, I think, to get there. Holgerson liking the cornering adjustments. And I think both drivers should be fairly close. Holgerson getting up to 5th with that last lap. And look at Baggs. He likes... We may end up leaving that right where it is. So Baggs not winning any awards, obviously. But Mia got up to 5th. Still half a second worse than Hashimoto, who destroyed the field. We haven't seen that in a while. But it is Hashimoto's home track, so... PR just sent me a bag of goodies. You're only a true fan if you watch the practice sessions, too. Guess I wouldn't be a true fan, then. And they're seeing if Lori will be able to chuck it on the front home. or on the front row, and Roger Rapaza is impatient. Says Go Hume wants the race to start now. Good weather for our first qualifying session on Saturday. And yeah, we're going to be taking bonuses here that we're not going to be able to use. Of course, as usual, we're going to underperform for qualifying so that we can do better in the race. No sign of anything but good weather, and it's not as hot. Yeah, both drivers with 2 purples and a green, or 2 excellents and a great. 97%. So we've got a great, and a great, and a great. We've got greats all over the place. So it's like, which way? Let's lower the top, make the top speed just a hair more, maybe, and see what happens there. But we don't want to change a lot. Let's go out on the slightly used ones. And yeah, I just want to try that. See if it's any better than 97. And if it's not, I'll stick with 97. Holgerson looking like she's ready to have a good day. 99%. Well, guess what we're going to do? We're going to leave you right where you are. So let's send Mia out first. And I could wait, but I just want to get a lap in. I'm going to let Mia take her entire lap, get set up, and then I'll send Will out. And I just, just so there's no, I mean, I've gotten pretty good at managing it, but there's no worry about seeing who's got the tire temps or whatever. So we're pretty much set on our setups. And I just need to set a time and call it good. There'll be a little bit more grip for Will. There we go. You know what? I couldn't agree more. You're at 7.7. Let's get you out there and get you going as Mia crosses the line for her lap. Oh, look, we're right behind somebody. One of the Spartan drivers. Outstanding. Wow, look at Gabler. Half a second faster through that first segment than Mia. That's pretty hideous. And Holgersen happy with a 1:15.4. Until Gabler comes in with a 1:14.9. So was almost as fast as Gabler through the second two sectors. And Bags almost as fast as Gabler in the first. It looks like 1:15 then is going to be a mark to hit. Getting under 1:15 or close to it means a good time. Bags with the fastest second sector, now ahead of Hashimoto's time. Look at him go. And he sets the fastest lap, 1:14.8. Well, I didn't expect to be worried about whether Mia would qualify. But I still think she's okay with that lap. I don't need to go out again. Let's just speed this up because we're done with this segment. But what a first lap by Will Bags. It's running in the 7s on form there, and it showed. Well, let's take a look at Mia. Yeah, 98% all excellence. We're going to stick with that setup. Now the other thing is, she did use slightly used tires. That's not going to make 0.6 of a second difference, but some difference. I can see it maybe losing her 0.1. But in order for her to drop out, there's 13 cars below her, and 9 of them would have to pass her up, and by a significant amount compared to their first lap. I don't see that happening. See, particularly Edwards and Capello, just a huge amount to make up, and these other ones, half a second, should not be a problem. There, you can see 3. All these going. Yeah, okay, she's already safe. No big ones going anywhere. And Vittorio, of course, Edwards complaining, well, you finished 18th. You didn't improve at all. And Bags saying, look, I'm 40 years old. I'm washed up. I'm going to retire at the end of the year. But I won the last race, and I won the first day of qualifying here in Yokohama. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Hammer getting 3rd and 12th. Spartan 6th and 9th. And Holgersen, an embarrassing first day, down in 11th. Enough to get through, but that's it. And good weather continuing. We'll see better track conditions, of course. Be slightly warmer. So I think we want to do the wait a couple minutes and then go out deal. I still think Holgersen probably going to have the, I still want to give Bags the better conditions at the end. I'm not convinced that even with stronger form, he's going to outperform her. Of course, we're looking to get into the top 10 here. So we're going to want to take 2 runs at it, and we should be able to take... I think the track is short enough for us to get in 3 on the final shot at it. I think I can take this down. I'm going to take it a little bit under 8 minutes. Take it down about 7:45, and then we'll start going out. So we've found our setups. Holgersen 4.7. Of course, if we run a fairly good time here, then we won't need to go out for that last one. But unless we're sure we're going to make it, then that's exactly what we'll do. Track grip up to high. So we'll continue to improve a little bit, but really conditions quite good already. Ooh, waited too long to cool it down, so bags only with a good setup. So there's a screw up by the team principal. And Holgersen down to a 3.4. Behind the pace of Rodriguez, as you would expect. Her form diving. And at 3.1 as she crosses in 5th. Says it wasn't good enough, and she's not wrong. Bags appears to be at about that same pace. And yeah, 0.03 of a second separate them. So both drivers not fast enough to be secure of getting in that top 10. It probably, again, more likely than not would make it. More likely than not is not good enough. So with grip almost maxed, we will just go right back out. We'll lose nothing by trying it again. And Holgersen's going back up slightly. Maybe she'll be up to a not terrible form by the time she actually crosses the line. Bag's looking good but not great in the 6s. He's about a point lower than he was for the first session. But if we could not screw up his tire temperatures, that wouldn't hurt his chances any either. Holgersen right on the money again. And there's Bags with a much better setup this time. Holgersen 3.2 has not improved from that, but she did send the fastest first sector. So, you know, she's off to a good start despite herself, still ahead of the pace. Nice turn there to get inside of that other car without apparently losing any speed, from what I can tell. And here she comes to the finish. Second, upset with herself for finishing just behind Rodriguez. You know what? That wasn't bad. Bags ahead of his first time, but not nearly as fast as we would like. and staying in 8th. So he did improve his time. And, you know, he's not that far ahead. Well under 2/10 ahead of these cars and making it. And Cruz, the only one left that's still going, bumps up into 10th. 0.14 seconds. About a 1/7 of a second is what Baggs is making the top 10 by. But he made it. And Holgerson, you know, a contender for the pole, even driving badly. So she pulled one out there. Baggs has gone almost that fast, too. Baggs' time the first day, well, all these are really close together, but it would have put him like 6th, right behind Gabler. You can see those top 5 right next to each other. I don't think Rodriguez has won a qualifying session before that I can recall, but there he is. So who knows what's going to happen here. None of the bigs falling out. Hammer 5th and 10th, Spartan 3rd and 7th, and we're 2nd and 8th. So we, you know, Atsuno here in the middle. Looks like us, Spartan, Atsuno, all in that same range. Dutt not going to be happy, despite the neck injury, with not getting in that final group. And some more clouds now, but no sign of rain yet. As the best half of the field gets set up here. And you know what? I think Holgerson has the best shot at the pole, so she's going to be going 2nd. We're going to be taking 3 shots at this. Baggs looking strong to start at 7.6. Holgerson's 4.2 is better than she was before. I'm going to make a little bit less of a gap between them than before, just to try to save that little bit of time and get all 3 attempts in for both drivers if I can. And anytime the track time is like 1:20 or less, I feel confident in that. Slow down, Will. But 1:20 for a 10-minute session seems to be about the line where, oh boy, perfect and good. So I screwed up, and by screwing up, I improved his odds of doing things. Didn't quite get her down there. That's something I could do to be better, is get used to that timing and see how that's going to work. Bringing, you know, overheating the tires and then backing off at the right time to drop that brake temperature right before you start the new lap. Baggs up to 7.8, Holgerson up to 4.7. And we've got a max rubber here, so it's not a question of waiting for better conditions. 115.2, you can do better than that, Will, but that's not bad. It's just a case of, you know, trying to catch lightning in a bottle and get that one really excellent lap. So Holgerson and Baggs 2nd and 3rd out of the first 5 to finish. Some other fast ones coming up, though. Hashimoto and Lori finishing ahead of us. And so we are 5th and 6th. We are the 3rd row after the first set. Let's see if we can move up on that at all. Gabler, Hashimoto, and Lori clearly the class of things early on. Let that overheating go. Try about there. Okay, that was a little bit late. Oh, good and overheated. Pulled it back just a little bit earlier for Gabler, or Holgerson rather. Boy, and that was still too late. I got to pull it up back a little bit earlier. So experimenting with that, you know, is hazardous because it can actually make things worse. But on the other hand, if I nail it, it could improve things. And I just think I want to, you know, anything like that I can do to get better. And Baggs not winning any awards with his run. Almost 2/10 slower than his first try. Holgerson, despite the bad setup, 1/10 slower than the first try. So you get the feeling if we'd optimized the temperatures a little better, that we could have done an improved job there. And the other thing is, we're not going to make that third lap. Baggs has a small chance. Holgerson, no point even sending her out. She's going to be 6th at best. That's not exciting. I'll try the same thing with Baggs this time. Well, I'm going to drop him down. And we've got to drop him back a little bit earlier. And we've got to worry about now that... are we going to even make the sponsor bonus? Perfect, but overheated. So, yeah. And if I let it drop any lower, I wouldn't have made it. And he didn't make it. Super. 7th and 9th, we didn't even make the sponsor bonus. Boy, it's a good thing we didn't need it. Now we're going to lose money this race for certain. So perhaps I don't want to try to get that cute with the qualifying temps. That's our lesson here. Lori also wins the pole. So that takes 2 points off our lead. It's going to make it that much more harder, running at 8.5. You know, if he drives that well, it's going to make it that much harder to clinch today. We have no chance of catching Lori. I don't know about no chance. Spartan MRT shows them how it's done. Yeah, that part is true. Spartan MRT being terrible. See, I can't buy that. They're our top rival. They're not terrible. We're going with soft and a race trim, naturally. Let's take a look at our weather. Hot and no rain. Yeah. So let's... See, I think we might be able to get away with one stop here. If we get, we're not going to get 19 out of these, but let's say we get 16. You know, getting 26 out of the sauce is not out of the question. We're starting back in the middle of the pack anyway. So, I mean, I like the idea here of just going with, yep, you're not going to get quite as far on those. I like the idea of just sticking with a full load of fuel and, you know, seeing if we can stretch it out to a one-stop deal. Bags with an 8 in form. So I'm going to give that a shot. Let's try to go one stop here at Yokohama. Lori had a 10. Okay, so basically beating Lori would be a gift, but if we can get up to the rest of them, Holgerson with only a 3, Bags a 6. And Rodriguez 8, Blasi 8, Tanaka 7, Hashimoto 7. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for us today if we can't pull off this one-stop deal. And Holgerson slipping to 8th. But then, taking advantage of a nice line there, bolting all the way up to 5th. We're really going to need to watch these tires. We're going to have to go conserve on them very early. As in, like, end of first lap early, if that late. But look at Holgerson in 5th and fighting for more. And that's it. We've got to go now. And they can't even wait till the end of the first lap. I'm not going to fry our tires for no reason. And there we go, Blasi going back. Speed burst, and Holgerson still gets by. That is some driving right there. Bags in 8th. And then the speed burst does eventually pay off. There's Cruz pressing behind Holgerson. But a good first run here by Mia, no question about that. Looks like we're going to lose another spot. Alright, let's back down to neutral. So, tires at 75 and 76%. We're just going to ride them as far as they can take us. 30 to 31 degrees, no sign of any rain. Track gradually be getting faster. 6th and 10th. Barely in the points. Spartan will only pick up 6th, though. Hammer getting most of the points right now. Lori has slipped to 3rd. That would still be a 30-point lead. We wouldn't clinch, but anything but a disaster in the last race, and we'd be fine. And again, clinching would be nice. The main thing we'd want to do is just not have such a big problem that we, you know, can't sustain a big lead into the final race. So now we're going to switch back to neutral on the tires. And I am going to want to go conserve them as much as I can later on, because I want to get as much distance out of these tires as possible, even though we've got the bonus on the softs for later. Again, I want to be able to get through the race on just the one change. And let's take a quick look here. Yeah, 31 to 33 laps. And we're not, let's assume we don't get that much, but 28 laps. Even if that's like, say that's 24. You know, so if we conserve the tires on this first set, I think we can pull this off. And I definitely dropped that lower than I wanted. The hybrid. So let's start burning up that fuel. We're in the middle of the pack here, 8th and 10th, so we should be able to pick up a decent amount of energy. But definitely could have gone with knocking off that hybrid a couple of laps ago. That would have been better. So hopefully I can pay attention to detail here the rest of the race and not make any more mistakes of that nature. Bags running excellent 7.7. Holgersen not winning any awards with that 3.3. Both drivers seem to be fairly well just settled into their positions. Switch to Bags for a bit here. Now he's fending off Jarita Dutt behind. 2.5 behind Sevilla in front. Sevilla starting to press Holgersen. Temp's getting high though. We got to go back to conserve. And down to 3-1. So Sevilla may indeed end up going by, but we're only a second behind the Tanaka and Cruz combo. Lori has moved up to second. And Baggs slips to 11th behind Dutt. Pretty sure we're still running heavier in fuel than the others, though, at this point. And either way, this is another one of those where we've got to be patient, take the long view, and just, you know, wait and see what happens later. As usual, Hashimoto, I mean, we're at 50%. Hashimoto at 30%. Hashimoto destroying her tires because that's what they do. Blasi sort of in the same boat. Tanaka about the same. Sevilla's tires are a little more fried than ours. So we're just going to be patient here. We're going to wait for our time, which is going to come much later in the race. And I think we're long enough into it now, lap 10. I'm just going to let that tire temperature drop as low as I can get it. We're just postponing as much as possible our first stop. Baggs is not as smooth of a driver, so that first stop is going to belong to him. Hashimoto pits. Lori takes the lead, and we're up to 8th and 10th. Already 10 and 13 plus seconds behind. Let's take a look at how many more laps we're going to get out of this. Baggs crosses 11 laps and has 38%, I think that says. Yeah, it was hard to read there for a second. due to the background. 38% on his tires. Blasi going in for a pit and some repairs. I'm kind of curious how many other drivers, if any, will go one stop like we are. And I'm just watching Bags here because he's going to go in first, and I want to see about that tire situation for him. He's down to 6.7, and Holgersen only at 3.2, so Mia definitely not racing like somebody who's going to challenge Lori. So it's about 4% down per lap. So I think Bags has 2 more laps to go, I believe. This one and one more. So let's get his hybrid rolling. And then Holgersen will come in the lap afterwards. Switch him up to neutral here for a bit. Sixth and eighth, very briefly. And 28 laps. Now, if you were actually able to get 28 laps in, that would put him exactly at the finish. So, again, we're going to want to conserve these tires as well. Now, 28 laps. You know, the big question is how much fuel is he going to need? I'm going to say about there. And it's so hard to tell with, I mean, we're basically saying we're going to run the last 2/3 of the race and we're going to think about how much fuel we're going to need. And we just frankly don't know. Have Holgersen back off. Yeah, not quite enough to go another full lap around. An extra one after this. Oh, Trenoweth crashes. Was in 11th. There's a competitor gone. So I'm going to want to pit here. 27 laps to go. Won't need quite as much. Try that. And, you know, I'm going to be in the right general range, but I'm really just guessing here. And Bags in some traffic as he comes out. Other cars with soft tires, they just came out. They're probably going to be more aggressive. You know, I'm going to let them do what they want. I'm going to go conserve and back off. Holgersen's going to need to go hybrid because she's got a whole bunch of energy. And you know what? Bags does too. Holgersen. Yeah, same issue with the cars around her. I just want to go conserve and drop the tire temperature. I'll need to try to be a little bit tactical with when we boost it. Boy, I said go hybrid. Ugh. Topped out there for a second. Didn't take it because I was still on pit row when I did it. That was the problem. 3.7 and 6.6, and we're going to be able to harvest a whole bunch back here. At least until we move up through the field. There's Sevilla pitting. Right in between us. And coming out on partly used super softs. With our bonus for the soft tires, I'm pretty happy with being out there on those. I'll switch to harvest here for bags. It won't take long to get back up there. Edwards comes in. And of course our efficiency once again going to gradually reduce how much we can harvest as we get up through the field. So we're going to use just as much hybrid energy as we need to not waste it as we're here in the back. And we're just going to let people go by for the time being. Not real concerned about that. It's almost as if we want to just say thank you for letting me save up more energy. Appreciate the favor you're doing by passing me on the track. Bags down to 16th. Looks like it's Blasi going by. And Bags will switch to hybrid again. Bags driving well, 7.4. Still a good amount of tire left, which is good because we just finished the halfway point of the race. There's 21 to go. 21 laps, that is. And Hume, the only driver who has not yet come in. And it looks like it's time to go neutral. And get back into harvest for Bags. While Holgersen switches to hybrid. And we'll be going neutral soon. So we're still just letting the race come to us for a while yet. Take a closer look at things in maybe about another 10 laps. Get into the final 10 laps of the race. Time to go neutral here. Till then, we're going to harvest as much as we can. Comfortably sit towards the back of the field. Switch between neutral and conserve on the tires as the temperature mandates. There's Bags' fastest lap. Now everybody has stopped. And we are in 8th and 11th. But Holgersen only has one car ahead of her on softs. So the other 6 are all going to have to stop a second time. And Tanaka, tires are lower enough, they're going to have to stop a second time. It's not all out of the question to say Holgersen could win this race. Of course, Baggs only 3 cars behind, about 4 seconds behind. Tires looking better than any of the other cars in front. Parisi and Kaluza and Roberts looking good behind, and others, but they're behind. So, still pretty happy here. Switch to Harvest for Holgersen. And Baggs now up to 8.5. Mia running decent at 5.0 now, but Baggs up to 8.5, 8.6. So he's really making some speed happen back there. And I do think we're going to have some extra fuel. Matter of fact, I'm almost positive we are. So if the parts permit, we'll be looking to push towards the end. Let's go Harvest now. We're up to 7th and 10th. And tire temperature not rising that fast. 8.7 now for Baggs. But he's not closing the gap too much on Blasi. And we'll switch back to Holgersen, who's up in 7th. And really pressing now on Sevilla. You know what, given that, let's go high for a bit. Tires looking fine. Just see if we can get by. Up to 5.2. How's Sevilla driving? 5.2 as well, much less energy. There we are getting to the inside, but this loop's not going to help. And there we go. Make the pass, and now let's switch back to medium and conserve and see if we can hold it. I want to get the tire temps down either way. Let's go Harvest more with Baggs. Being ahead of Sevilla is a good deal. And then there's like a 2 or 3 second gap up to Tanaka. So I'd like to just sort of relax here. And look at Baggs at 9.5. But I want to back off his tires as well. Because we still have like 13, 14 laps to go, and he's under 60% on the tires. I think he's going to be in the red zone by the end of the race, but I don't want to push it any further than I have to. So far, Holgersen is holding off Sevilla, even as her form declines. And let's go hybrid here. Sevilla trying to get by on this stretch. Looking for a hole and not finding one. Either bad driving on her part or good driving on Holgersen's part. You tell me the difference. Cruz goes in, and it's 5th and 9th now. Pretty soon we're going to have to decide. Looking pretty good, but the engine, you know, I think it's too far out to start pushing. Yeah, same for both cars. I'd be okay with pushing at that level if we had like 5 or 6 laps to go. Switch to harvest again. Okay, and Sevilla is going to come in. So is Lori. That's interesting. Although they're 30 seconds apart, so... Oh boy, and Lori comes out just ahead of us, but is having mechanical problems with like 10 laps to go. So that's going to be an interesting deal. With all the mechanical problems we've seen, I almost wonder if the other teams are being too aggressive with their weight stripping or too aggressive with their driving, or sort of a combination of the two. Three laps of fuel, and we could take it a little bit further down, but I'm not going to. I want to go hybrid here because I want to retain the option to push. Bags in 5th at 9.0, and we'll take him down to 3 laps. And I don't think Holgersen is actually going to have enough fuel to push. But Bags probably will. Maybe Holgersen should have taken on another lap of fuel, and maybe not. We'll see at 43% on the tires. Let's see how much Bags' go down on conserve. 42%. Because as of now, he's got 9 laps left. We're up to 2nd and 4th. Dutt is going to have to come in for sure. That puts us 2nd and 3rd. And then it all comes down. I mean, Gabler's going to try to chase us now. But it's going to come down to Lori. Can Lori survive those mechanical problems? Right now, Spartan would beat us. They got 10 points. They got 2 for the pole. And 10 for the win, so it looks like they've got the fastest lap also. And now we're 2nd and 3rd as Dutt goes into repair. So it's all about the condition on Lori's car, plus can we hold off Gabler back there, 3 seconds behind Bags. That's going to be a thing as well. Let's see where Bags is at the end of this lap. This is 2 laps later. So it's closer to 3% a lap. 7 more like that. 21%. Yeah, he's going to have to conserve as much as possible, and so is Holgersen. And Bags is going to be well into the red by the end of this race. On the other hand, does probably have the fuel to push. Now's the time. We want to try to hold off Gabler. See if he can do it. And Holgersen, plenty of room on either side. So we just want to conserve. We're not going to catch Lori. It's a question of whether Lori, you know, whether the parts just give out on her. Him. It would not surprise me at all if Gabler catches Bags. That loses us 8 points. We'd still have 9 points. We'd still win. We still have a 30-point lead. So it looks like most likely scenario, we're going to lose this race to Spartan because of Lori. Getting the pole, getting the fastest lap, winning the race. Pretty much doing it all. Sevilla down there in 12th, no threat. But we're still going to have a strong lead. And Bags loses the spot to Gabler. Well, let's go conserve for a bit. Make those tires hang on for just that little bit more. Bags is actually pulling away some from Hashimoto, so we're not worried about that. And Lori running away with this. Let's see. Oh, I think I've definitely got to go low with Holgersen. We got 2 laps of fuel and 3 laps to make. So he's probably going to run out of fuel on the last lap. That's unfortunate. Hopefully can hang on to that spot, but I think that's all but definitely not certain right now. I'll switch back to a medium now for Bags. Just going enough on neutral to keep temperatures in the tires. Second to last lap here. And Holgersen's going to have a little bit of hybrid to use on that last lap, but not a lot. Yep, I'm very aware of that. But we're heading into the final lap, so deal with it. Okay, yep, I think we definitely want to go high now. Let's go hybrid. And Holgersen out of fuel, and she's going to lose a bunch of spots here, doggone it. Bags going by. And others. Oh, down to 6th. Come on, get across the line. 6th. Yuck. Still reasonably happy with it, but I managed the fuel a little better, and she finishes 2nd. So that definitely cost us some points. Haven't made any, like, enormous earth-shattering mistakes, but I've made a number of smallish but significant ones. Lori driving perfectly at the end of the race. Literally perfectly. Surviving a banged up car for the win. Lori wins the race. Pole position, fastest lap. The trifecta did absolutely everything possible. Sevilla down in 9th, though. We finished 3rd and 6th. Nobody penalized, and Trenoweth crashes. So Holgersen leading the points by 1. Baggs holding on to that 3rd place position despite finishing behind Gabler. Both 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th could go either way. And our lead is down to 27 points. That's comfortable, but not totally secure. We definitely didn't clinch. We lost that race by 9 points. And we need to not have a disaster in the final race. We need to finish with at least Holgersen, and preferably Bagg also, fairly high up in the field to ensure with double points we don't lose this. And we can see 7.9, that is Baggs' best racing day of the year. And 3rd, a little better than his average. Holgersen's 4.2. 3rd worst for her out of the 11. But the main problem she had was me. And we finished 3rd, so our marketability doesn't change, or does happiness. We lose money. Yeah. Not the most inspiring job, but another race like that will be kind of limping across the finish line, but hopefully still getting across the finish line. So yeah, I mean, if Lori dominates like that again, he'll get 28 points. And our other 2 drivers just have to, between them, beat Sevilla. So it's not about Lori. It's about Holgersen and Baggs versus Sevilla. I've got to get more from Holgersen and Baggs combined than they get from Sevilla. If I do, I win automatically. That I really should be able to do that. This should not be a problem. And hopefully it won't be. But it's not over. The finale in Doha will confirm whether we win or give us a colossal collapse against Spartan. And that'll be coming up next. Either way, the Surging Absurdity Challenge is going to end, and hopefully in our favor. So thanks for watching. That'll be coming up soon.